Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick video. All right, y'all. So, this video here, I don't really know where to start with this one, just because there was just so many, so much confusion with something that was said by Mike Tyson, and yeah, I just kind of want to give you my thoughts on the whole clickbait thing and how media always twists the words up. And I'm not a fan of clickbait. None of my titles are clickbait. Some of my videos, all my videos are never clickbait, and that's kind of what I want to discuss in this quick video. I might discuss it in my next podcast episode. I know I'm behind, but I've been busy, but I've been staying with y'all. But this is something I'm gonna talk about in my next podcast episode. But yeah, man. Okay, so last night I was looking at some articles. I was just pulling up different things on MMA on my Facebook, and I pulled up this article. I came across this article on Weili Zhang where it said Weili fires back or hits back at Mike Tyson for some recent comments he said about picking Rose Namajunas, right? So I read through the article and I saw what she had to say. She basically said that, well, first of all, she was interviewed by the news. I think it was CGTN in Beijing. And they basically asked her what she thought of Mike Tyson, his recent comments, as far as saying he said Rose Namajunas would destroy her, right? So, she went into the whole thing and kind of retaliated back at Mike Tyson, saying he knows nothing about MMA. Don't say anything about it. Don't say anything about something you don't know, So I went, I went back and read the article some more. I did a little bit of research. I said, where did he say this? Where did he say this? Because they really weren't putting up a source. So I went to a couple of articles, and there was an article that said, Mike Tyson recently was talking to Dana White on his hot boxing podcast. Okay. So I pulled up the podcast. Him, Dana White, Zab Judah, they were just talking about different fights. And Mike Tyson, he was talking about some recent events with Dana White. And Dana White said one of the big super fights he's talking about making is, if Weili Zhang beats Rose Namajunas, he's going to eventually have her fight Valentina Shevchenko. That's just a heads up for y'all. But back to the point. So Mike Tyson, when he hears him mention Rose Namajunas, he goes, ooh, he's like, oh, man, he's going to put her in there with Weili. So he was like, man, Rose Namajunas, she's no walkover. He was like, Rose is not a walkover. He was like, if she's going to fight Weili, Rose is not a walkover. He's like, he said nothing of the sort. Let me just go ahead and say that. He basically just said Rose Namajunas is a beautiful girl. He's like, she's a beautiful baby doll. I'm pretty much saying it word for word just so y'all know. He's like, she's a beautiful baby doll with killer intentions. She's vicious. She'll rip your heart out. She destroys you. Whenever she fights, she destroys you. That's basically what he said. It wasn't aimed at Weili Zhang. So just to clear that up, that's what he said. So if people are reading that article that's going around about Weili Zhang saying that, oh, Mike Tyson, he doesn't know anything about MMA because Rose Namajunas will destroy me, he said nothing of the sort. Mike Tyson basically just said Rose Namajunas is a vicious girl for the way she looks. He said she's a beautiful girl that has killer intentions. He said she'll rip your heart out and she destroys you. So it wasn't aimed at her. Okay. So going back to the article, they basically switched it up. They asked Weili. They said, okay, what do you think about this? Mike Tyson said, Mike Tyson said Rose would destroy you. So she retaliated back. She said Mike Tyson has no right to comment because he knows nothing about MMA. He knows nothing about me. I will not be affected, but I do my best instead. And I suggest Tyson try MMA himself. Okay. So then she went on to say, she has great footwork and boxing skills. I have prepared specifically for her skill set. I would check my arsenal and pick the suitable weapon to play against her. I know that anything could happen. Okay. So yeah, that was her retaliation back to Mike, and that's what MMA fighters usually say. If you're a boxer, don't talk about something you don't know. But in Mike's defense, Mike did not say anything of the sort. Mike is a guy who knows a lot about boxing. He knows pretty much the history of boxing, and he won't step out of his realm. Mike is not the type of guy. He doesn't pull punches on what he says, but he won't step into a boundary of things he don't know. Like if you go on his podcast, he will talk boxing, he'll talk history, he'll talk a lot of the things that he does know, like some of the stuff he's read up on, but he's never like trying to say, oh, this person here is a wimp or a bum in MMA. Now, if he says it about a boxer, it's probably true because he knows the game of boxing. But he'll never go out of his way and try to bash, some of these fighters, especially the women fighters. I don't even think he follows them like that because, when he mentioned Weili, he was like, oh, that's a tough fight. He was like, Rose is no walkover. He was like, she's a, very sweet girl, and it's kind of contrast to, the vicious killer in her. And he said, when she goes in there, she'll rip your heart out and she'll destroy you. But he did not say anything of the sort that Weili would get destroyed by Rose, because I don't think he even follows both of them that closely. He doesn't even follow Weili like that. Hell, I mean, Zab Judah didn't even know her name. Like I said, like the casual fans don't even know some of these fighters' names. So yeah, man, like I said, I just wanted to do this video to clear that up because I haven't heard anybody else speak on it. They just kind of been letting, the media, UFC media and clickbait kind of run with it. But, in Mike's defense, Mike didn't say anything of the sort, trying to say anything to diss Weili Zhang. And I understand where Weili was coming from as far as, trying to retaliate. But media, man, they got to do better, man. They got to stop trying to stir things up. They twisted his words big time. He didn't say anything of the sort because I scrubbed through the whole interview, 24 minutes, and he didn't say anything as far as breaking down the fight. It was just a quick, quick comment on Rose mostly. It was just a spotlight on Rose, but it wasn't as far as Weili versus Rose goes, So yeah, man, that's why I said I had to come back on that one because it's something we follow closely, and I'm not a big fan of clickbait. Like I said, if any of my titles seem like clickbait to you, let me know. Check me now. But as far as it goes, I don't think any of my videos are ever going to be clickbait, man. And yeah, like I said, something I'll talk about on the podcast I'm working on. It's the 50th episode I'm working on, guys. So yeah, if y'all read the article, yeah, don't get it twisted. Watch Hot Boxing with Mike first, and then go back and read it, and you'll say, these don't know what they talking about. So yeah, guys, that's all I got on this one. If y'all did read it, let me know y'all thoughts. And again, give me y'all's pick for Weili Rose. I'm not giving you mine yet. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.